Whenever a new story in my niche breaks and I want to create a post about it, I don't open Canva. I just drop a message directly to my OpenClaw inside of Discord and get a finished carousel post within a few minutes. I'm Christian, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in this video. We are going to cover how to connect your make.com automations directly inside of OpenClaw and how to actually guide your OpenClaw to create this whole workflow system. Let's lock in for a few minutes and I'll show you the exact stack that I'm using to generate carousel images automatically for my social media accounts. All right, I'm going to show you exactly how this functions inside of my OpenClaw. As you can see, I am communicating with OpenClaw using Discord. I am using this carousel generation text channel to retrieve the carousels and prompt new carousel generations. I do it all within this single chat. It's actually good to divide up chats based on different tasks to help organize your conversations and to also keep the context window a little bit shorter. It's a little bit more complicated to set up, but it's definitely worth it. So this is the text channel that I am using for the carousel generation. Let's go ahead and prompt OpenClaw to come up with a new post idea for a recent news story that is just broken. This is for a travel-based account. So essentially, OpenClaw has an eye on a bunch of news URL sources. And when new travel stories break, it automatically gets pushed to OpenClaw. And OpenClaw has a bunch of these URLs on standby. And it also notifies me twice a day, news stories that are probably good for my niche and good for my audience. But we can also prompt the OpenClaw to give us some ideas for recent news stories right now. So let's go ahead and do that. What are some good news stories I can create a post about right now? And we should get a few options given to us by the OpenClaw. As you can see, my OpenClaw's name is Voyager. So as you can see, we just got 4 potential posts that were pulled directly from the standby travel news sources. So which one do we want to go with? This seems like an interesting topic that could be good for my audience. Let's demo it. I like option 1, the teleport launch. Let's roll with that one. So the workflow works where if I confirm that I like a news story, if it presents these news stories to me, or I come to it with a news story, after I affirm that I like a news story, it goes and it drafts up what the post is going to look like. It is a multi-carousel type post that I'm looking for. So there's going to be a header carousel image, and then there's going to be a bunch of body carousel images depending on the news story and the information that I want to talk about in the news story. So it's going to basically create the draft. It's going to show me the text that's going to be on each carousel image. It's going to show me the image generation prompt for all of the associated images being generated. And it usually takes about a minute to do all of this. We will let Voyager cook. So Voyager has finished cooking up the carousel post specs. So as you can see here, we have the story ID. We have the slide 1. This is the header. The headline that it came up with is Teleport launches Visa Concierge for Elder Travelers. That's all right. You have the main image prompt. And then we have the circle image prompt. This is a specific style carousel image that we are generating. And then we have the 2 body slides as well. We have a header, a description, and then an image prompt. And the same thing with slide 3. The header, parents lead outbound travel demand. The description is going to be something under that. The actual template that I'm using is right here for the actual header. We have a circle image that's being generated, or actually it's just a square image being generated and it's inserted inside of this circle. Then we have a main image that is going to be inserted here. And then we have the actual headline, which will be inserted there. This is just a random headline. This doesn't mean anything. And if we go back to the chat, we can see that the circle image prompt will be a picture of a passport with a wrinkled hand. I guess that indicates the elder traveler. And then we have the main image, which is going to be an elderly couple at a desk reviewing passports and a laptop. Let's say, for example, I didn't really like the concept behind this image. I will go and say, I don't like the main image being generated for the header prompt. Give me 5 alternate header image prompts to choose from. And so Voyager is going to look at the main image prompt that it initially came up with and spit out 5 other variations that I am going to choose from. I'm going to choose whatever one I like. So these are the 5 alternate variations it came up with. Let's go with the living room support visit. Looks good. Please output the final specs before we finalize them. So the system is very intelligent in being flexible and editing the specs of the actual carousel posts that are being generated. And as you can see, we have the updated image prompt here. Let me show you what the body image template looks like. I have a bunch of different templates. This is inside of Placid. I will get to this a little bit more later. This is what the actual body looks like. So we have the description, we have the header, and then we have a single image that is going to be placed behind here. And yeah, so for this exact workflow, we only have these two templates. We have the header and then we have the body. Obviously, you could build this out to be even more complex. Here's the header and the body. This is called Placid. You could potentially have OpenClaw generate your own version of an app just like this in order to yield these carousel images on demand, or whatever other type of image you want to generate with a consistent template. I like Placid. It's $20 a month. You get a bunch of credits. A credit is used every time you actually generate an image with the API. But I have this connected directly to the make.com automation. Once I say confirm, it's going to call on my existing make.com automation right here. So I have two automations that are connected to OpenClaw. I have the header news carousel generation, and then I have the body carousel generation. So if we look at the header carousel generation, we have the webhook that is being triggered. Let me go to an example run that has happened in the past. We have the webhook that is getting triggered. That's going to contain all of the information for the carousel image that is being generated. So for example, while this loads, for the header, we are going to get the headline passed, the image prompt, and the circle image prompt, as well as maybe some other information that are passed on via the webhook. So here is an example of a past run. The webhook was fired by the OpenClaw. The OpenClaw is the one that pulled the trigger on this. We have the ID, we have the number of slides, we have the headline, we have the main prompt, and then the circle prompt. And so what we're doing is we are generating a folder. And we're just generating a folder because it's easy to work with the public URL associated with these images in order to eventually pass on to the Placid module right here. So the Google Drive is just a temporary storage for the images being generated. And I eventually just delete the folder after it's all said and done. And it eventually sends to my Discord. So we have the main image that's being generated from the dynamic prompt that I insert here. So if you take a look here, I'm actually pulling over the prompt that's passed from the webhook. Same thing with the circle image. And then I am plugging this all into the template that I select inside of the create image Placid module. I download that image, send it off to Discord. With Discord, we will see that the OpenClaw is then going to call on that make.com automation in order to generate these images, and then they will be automatically sent into my Discord. So we'll say, go ahead and generate these images. So let's go back to the scenario, and yep, we can see it just sent the first image in and it's going through the second run. I am iterating through the different slides here. So it already went through the first slide, now going through the second slide. This is more or less the same automation as the header make.com automation that I just showed you. A little bit different because the actual image that we're creating, the template, is slightly different. So let's go check out what these images look like. So we actually don't love this image right here because the woman's face is blocked off. So I can actually go and get that changed, but just to give you an idea of what this looks like, it doesn't look super clean. As you can see, there's some piece of paper here, so maybe I would want this changed. But this is the type of carousel image that is created as a result of this automation. And I can go and say, I actually do not like the header image as the woman's face is being covered by the circle image. We need to ensure that the circle image isn't blocking anything important. The circle image is in the top left. Please recreate the header image only to yield a header cell without someone's head being blocked by the circle image. So it might ask me more about what I want, or it might do it by itself. But this is essentially how this carousel generation works. I have it running every single day at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. where it comes to me with news stories that are specific to my travel audience. And then I either approve or deny these stories. And yeah, this is what is yielded. I take these images directly from my phone, go to Instagram and TikTok individually. I think it's better to actually go to these applications and post. As you can see here, the woman's face is blocked again. And let's see what the actual prompt was there. So the prompt did say leave the top left corner completely clear. So I guess this is a little bit on the actual model that I'm using here. I'm using the Imagine 4.0 Ultra Generate. So that is on the model's fault. I would continue to iterate this and maybe come up with a different image in general, not just a different image prompt. I think this is a pretty weak image to start off with. But that's essentially how this automation functions. I could build this out inside of OpenClaw, where the OpenClaw is actually creating an app that is just like this. But I did attempt to do that, and it was awfully expensive. I spent $150 and the outcome was very subpar. $150 on the Codex API that I was using, and the results were very, very poor. So I decided to go with the Make.com and Placid route. I had already had a similar system in place before OpenClaw even came out, where I can generate based on prompts inside of a Google Sheets, but having the AI agent involved in the whole process in helping me figure out what the image prompts should look like and the actual text on the image, and having that flexibility to edit. So in about 2 hours from now, I will get a couple news stories automatically sent to this chat here. Voyager is running on a cron job at that time, and then I'll either affirm or deny some of those news stories. I could generate multiple at once, and yeah, it runs 2 times every single day. That's what I'm happy with. You could also run it even more than that. I could make this a little bit more complex by adding different templates and changing the templates based on the type of post. You could also generate carousels based on non-news stories. So in the travel niche, you could maybe generate a carousel based on a specific destination or a historical story that's specific to a place. Whatever your audience is looking for and whatever template you can create, the possibilities are essentially endless. So let me know if you have any questions about how this is done. I'm going to leave my link to Placid and Make.com down below if those are things you want to go try out. I'm coming out with new videos like this every week. So if you want to follow along and learn more about how to leverage OpenClaw in AI systems, hit subscribe. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.